What's up guys, my name is Jragon, and before we get into today's video, I would just like to say a little thank you for all the support that I have been seeing recently. Over the last about 2 weeks-ish since I've started this Satisfactory series, all of the videos have been doing really good, at least to my standards. So, thank you guys very much for all of that. And of course, if you guys are new here, or if you guys are coming back and aren't subscribed, then do make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, as it does help me out a ton. Anyways, enjoy the video. There's a few things I do want to go over because the amount of time I've spent on this world since the last recording is immense. So much so, in fact, that the total time overall in this world since the last recording has about doubled. You can see right here, duration 25.5 hours, when last time it was about 13. And that is because I have been AFKing a lot of the resources that we're building up, and essentially built the Twin Towers in order to store all of them. Now you may be asking yourself why I need all these resources, and that is specifically because of the Phase 2 space elevator parts. We need 1,000 of the versatile frameworks, which takes a ton of steel beams, and 100 of the wiring, which also takes steel pipes. So there is quite a bit of stuff that we are going to need to do all of that. However, we do have everything already pre-made. And if I head back over to the main factory, you'll see that I took care of something else. First things first, as you can see that I have expanded our reinforced iron plate storage because I was AFKing a very long time, and every single one of these industrial storage containers is full, meaning I have almost 30,000 reinforced iron plates built up. Second, you can see that I have set up this production here, and this is entirely to make these modular frames using the steeled frame alternate recipe, just because of how easy it is to get steel pipes. But in today's episode, we are going to be tearing down all of this production stuff right here, and we will be replacing it with a brand new, fresh coat of paint rotor factory. And if we look at rotors, you can see that these guys take about 100 screws a minute. So with 2 constructors making these screws, we'll have all the screws we're going to need in order to start this production right here. So if we do 12.5 times 2, that is exactly how many of the iron ingots we are going to need for the assemblers to make the rotors. And a Mark II miner can easily pull out 240 iron from there, so we have plenty of resources to work with, although we do have to set up quite the factory for that. We also need to make these iron rods, which is exactly 15 a minute in and out, so if we use that as well, let's just say we did 240 divided by 15, we would be able to have 16 iron rod production facilities, although that is not what we need. I believe I could do 15 times 8, and that is how much iron we're going to need for the iron rods themselves. And with that amount of constructors for the iron rods, it means we'll be able to handle 6 of the assemblers. So we're going to need, I think it's about 12 of the iron turning into screws. So we'll just do plus 12.5 times 12. And as you can tell, that does turn into 270 iron, which is more than what we will be producing. However, we can just overclock the miner to be a little bit more powerful, and it should handle that very, very easily. And that is exactly how much iron can be handled by a Mark III belt, meaning that is almost perfect for what we need. So let me tear down a little bit of this storage real quick, and we will get started on building up a nice little rotor factory. So all we need to do is put down the miner Mark II, and we are going to put down exactly 1 power shard into here to produce exactly 270 per minute, which if we do that is very slightly higher than what we need. So that is good. It means the power draw will not be that much bigger, so we'll be able to handle all this pretty easily. Now, we are going to need to move all of this stuff real quick, which shouldn't be too bad. There's not too much in the storage containers. So if we get rid of the ones that just don't have anything in them, we should be good to go. So we're going to need about 20 constructors total, 8 for the iron rods, and 12 for the screws, which that is going to take up quite a bit of space. So if we look at the space we have here, I believe about 5 constructors will fit in each line, which is fine. That means we can have 4 in a line and then some space to put all of the conveyor belts. Although, I'm probably going to do the same thing I did over here in this factory and have the logistics floor underneath everything, just so I don't have to worry about it too much. If we do the same thing we did on the other factory and make it so that this floor is just a little bit higher up, we should be able to get started on all of the production that we're going to need pretty easily. Now we are going to need a bunch of smelters, so if we do that, we can do 270 divided by 30, which means we are going to need exactly 9. And I believe they should fit in all of this, although it is going to be a little bit tight. So there's all of these smelters we are going to need, and they should be perfectly spaced apart to be able to get attached up to the mergers down below. So you get the conveyor lift Mark 1, attach them to the bottom of this, and they should all perfectly line up just like that. Perfect. And then we just do this the rest of the way down. And this is one of the good reasons about making a logistics floor, because technically, on the floor above, this is where all the smelters are, but now we have this space down here in order to figure out all the logistics, which is very, very, very nice. It means we can compact things down a lot easier and have a lot cleaner of a space up above and even down here. This is where everything's going to be made, and we'll have a third floor up above in order to get all of the assemblers down. So if we just connect these up just a little bit more, this should be good enough for screws, although we can need more cable. And then we'll need 8 in order to make the iron rods. Alright, and I'm hoping that third floor should be able to hold all of the assemblers that we're going to need, as well as the rest of the constructors for the iron rods. Now, it is going to be a little close, considering we need 8 constructors up there and 6 assemblers, which in this amount of space is not a lot, but it's possible, I think. Alright, so that should be iron rods all done, which it does look like that is the case. All these should be producing, which they are. So now we can work on getting all these screws. Now, we're going to be producing so many screws that we're going to need 3 of the Mark III conveyor belts coming up here at a time, because we are producing 600 screws. But that should be fine, because only 4 of the 12 of the constructors down there will be on each of these belts. So we should be fine. That should be all the iron rods set up, which it looks like it is. I'm just going to make sure that these are set to the right thing, which is going to be rotors. And now we just got to get all of these screws attached up, which should not be too bad at all. And with that, that should be all of the iron set up for all of these as well. Alright, so that should be all of the outputs for the screws done now. All the screws are coming up here how they are supposed to. Very, very good. And we should start seeing all these guys start producing here in a moment. And with that done, we should start seeing rotors come out here, which we do. Very, very nice. And we should start seeing all of them get transported up front to this industrial storage container here, which I did just see one pop in there a second ago. So that is working how it is supposed to. Very, very nice. So we're going to set up all of the assemblers over here, just kind of out of the way a little bit, just so things don't get too hectic over there. And each of these are going to be for the space elevator parts. So we have one for the smart plating, one for the versatile framework, and one for the automated wiring. And there is all the smart plating. All of that will be done in about 50 minutes. So all we need to do now is take care of the versatile framework, which means we're going to need to set up 5 assemblers, which should not be too bad at all. And each of these assemblers is going to need their own 2 boxes for both the frames and also the steel beams, which should not be too rough. So with everything all ready and set up, we should be back here in about an hour, and everything should be done then. As you can see, these guys are making all of the smart plating we're going to need, although I probably will have to empty these out about halfway through, which shouldn't be too bad. So I'll come back here and I'll empty them out as time goes on, but we should be good to go. So I'll see you guys in about an hour. Alright, so this should be good to go. We should be able to see all this stuff done. And it just filled up my inventory there. So we should have 1,000 of each of the versatile framework, smart plating, and then we have our 100 automated wiring, which actually finished first, because we had it set up first anyways. So we go over here and we just whack everything all up in there. Space elevator phase 2, it's all sealed up.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation.
We did a presentation.
Congratulations, the Phase 2 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 2 will be completed and the construction dock will be constructed. After completion of Phase 2, the technologies of Tiers 5 and 6 will become available in the hub. These might feel intimidating after your previous experience, but rest assured that you would not be here if you were entirely incompetent. Highlights are oil production, railway transportation, the jetpack, and many more. Completing Phase 3 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. Just remember to focus on producing and delivering the project parts, and Fixit's faith in you will be strengthened.
So that that's done, we can send it off. And we should see this thing just start getting launched up there to the orbital platform. There it goes, all the way up. And we should see this thing start building off all the rest of the little bits that it's doing. Yeah, you can see that right around there. There we go. Look at all of that. So that upgrade's huge. Very, very cool. And we can get a look at the next one, which looks like this, which is very, very cool looking. We need 2,500 versatile framework, 500 modular engines, and 100 adaptive control units. So that'll be a little while before that, although the versatile framework we could probably get done right now. We just have to get everything set up, which is not happening yet, although eventually. And now we can see which one of these milestones we want to get. So we have 5 and 6, which is very, very nice. I do want to get the jetpack because that is insanely useful, although we do need motors, which we can craft. It won't be too hard. We also get manufacturers, trains, pipe Mark IIs, which is super nice, and a blueprint designer Mark II, which is actually really, really nice as well. So we definitely have our work cut out ahead of us. But honestly, all of this is not that bad. The jetpack and the oil processing do require motors, which we can start crafting, although we don't have anything making stators or anything like that yet, though it shouldn't be too hard, I don't believe. But of course, all of that will be in a later episode because I am actually out of time for today. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, do be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, as it does help me out a ton. And if you guys have any ideas for any of the milestones I should go for first, or things I can do to upgrade my factories, and or just stuff to build, then do let me know down in the comments down below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, depending on where you are. And I will talk to you all later.